Welcome to Harry's Song Breakdown.
So this is on my own. The song was very fun to make. It started with me and Aidan. We were working on, I think it started like with just like the chord progression, but I was making these drums and they are they're like clean, but they're ugly. Like the snare is just so dense and kind of thick.
It's a thud.
And then we layered it with this one. Like I wanted to feel like a drum machine, but I also wanted to have a sort of a live feel at the same time.
This is like almost like a marching snare.
So I have and then I layered
I don't
that
even
tom.
remember hearing that.
That's the tom that's like the more like 80s kind of sounding tom. So
Is
altogether,
that a mini log tom? Is that what it says?
yeah, that's Charlie. Charlie made a sample pack of stuff that he synthesized. Yeah.
Yeah, so you get the bottom end from the thud and the top from the pip.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the drums. So the bass is, I think I played this bass, which is why it probably doesn't sound that good.
Did? Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of fuzzy. And so that was Aidan's riff that he came up with was. So it starts pretty simple. I mean, pretty bare bones.
Drums, bass,
Vocals. That's it.
in the verse, but in the chorus there's keys.
And then we get some details. So it's harmonizing to the bass.
I think Noah did that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's sick. So also one thing that I think is really kind of a key like identifier of the song is the sound of this keyboard. Like it's very like late 80s, early 90s. Like it's a Roland JX8P.
Okay.
And it's actually just like a preset. And when I was playing it, I wanted the bass to kind of take the root and just to leave my voicing super open. Which just makes it so that it doesn't like really conflict. Then the acoustics come in. Just the acoustic, I think, has like just such a nice recording quality to it.
Yeah, it's really good. Open it up.
So we have this one that's a lot darker, which is just kind of we recorded it with a C12 clone, and it just kind of gave it some more body. And part of why it sounds like that is that we actually pitched the song up from the key that we originally recorded it in. So it was kind of like I used a sound shifter plugin to take this acoustic and pitch it up, but there's like a grating like tone, like da-da, those two notes.
Yeah.
They have like a weird like beating effect almost between the waves. So it's like it's its own thing. We tried to record in that key, in the new key, but it just didn't really have the same like emotion behind it. It just didn't really sound quite as good. So we just stuck with this sound shifted version. So here's a chorus.
All on my own.
Yeah.
Thing that they want. All on my own.
So just some fat harmonies.
Like a cluster.
Thing that they want. All on my own.
Yeah.
I got enough of myself to lean on.
And then right here, there's this kind of cool keyboard part that comes in.
Yeah.
And that's a Casio CZ101, which is on this like vibratone, or it's like on this weird setting. vibraphone, not
delay,
vibratone.
reverb.
And then there's this cool thing here.
Just wait for me to call you on a lonely summer night.
So it was interesting. Like we were kind of thinking, like which one is the main melody and which one is, like should be stepped back.
Just wait for me to call you on a lonely summer night. Heard your message that you left me. It said we're getting older. This time it's over.
That's the main.
Yeah, that's the main
one. Yeah.
We're getting older. This time it's over. I'm all on my own.
And we kind of cut the rest of the instrumentation out here so that it drops in later. So
This time it's over. I'm all on my own.
and the acoustic kind of keeps the beat going, and then classic Harrison move, just start riffing on the top of it. This little.
I got enough of myself to lean on. All on my own.
Second verse, we need to spice it up, and this is probably, this is like right when you thought the song was done, and we went back to the second verse and Noah came over and just had him do a bunch of like random guitar stuff. So, and this is where the guitars really take off, and you start to get more depth. Yeah, just little things. With all we did like a delay pedal. I forget it was the Big Sky. Might have been an HX Stomp.
Might have been the HX Stomp.
Yeah, it might have been HX Stomp and like a Big Sky, and he has Noah brings in the Chase Bliss mood, and he'd use it for live all the time just to do like ambient stuff. So I think it was mainly messing around with that.
His gear definitely did a lot of the lifting, but his musicality I think was so important because he could hear kind of like a call and response thing between the vocals and the guitar. So it's like turn me on, ba-da-da-da-da-da. Like he's calling and responding what the vocals are doing, which I thought was really tasty.
Which is funny because we were thinking like The Edge.
Yeah, it was like The Edge.
Like, this is like, it's not a U2 song in the slightest, but like it's just thinking like delayed guitars and like weird stuff, and like it just fills it out a lot.
Yeah. So a lot of the song feels like very close because it's very dry. Like the drums are super dry. There's like a lot of things that are really dry. So it just kind of opens it up right there in the second verse.
And cut. So good.
So here in this last big chorus, the focus shifts from kind of where like the guitars are kind of taking that space in the background, and then they kind of come out, and the vocals rise over the top, like okay, little pitch issue, but but you know it's
do the riff. Yeah, you're starting to. It's just the song is starting to open up.
And then Noah does this really cool thing, which we have labeled guitar chaos, which I think is very, very appropriate. It's so cool.
It's just a layer of texture, you know. It just adds a lot. Listen to a lot of Fred again lately, and I just find that he does this on everything, and then just turns into a drone and samples it.
Yeah, that is, and it's. I mean, he does it to like masterful effect, and unfortunately, we're not cool enough to be sitting at like, you know, was the Apple Music thing where remember when he was in the interview and he's like playing the beat. But yeah, I mean, just how this song builds in this whole last section. So
there's distortion.
This is a really nice little moment. And this is Noah playing this, and it just kind of steps forward. Oh, and then also one thing before we get to the end of the song that I really liked is I have this string pulse that comes in part way through the outro. And the way that I wanted these keys to feel is I'm a big fan of the band Video Age, and they have this song called Hold On, I Was Wrong, and they have an emphasis on the quarter note that I think makes it like groove even harder.
The whole thing is like trying to find a way to make it groove and make it consistent and tight without like having to increase volume. Yeah, like you want to just like have like a little bit of pulse, a little bit of something. So like Noah doing all that stuff on guitar, the guitar chaos, the string pulse, it just adds like a thickness and adds like a tightness to it without like needing to just like go full send, blow people away with how loud it is.
The Rhodes.
Yeah, it just like adds a whole layer of texture. That's great. And it's something that's very different from the beginning of the song. Like it's completely different from everything.
Yeah, and it makes it
I think
emotional too.
We ran that shit through something.
Oh yeah, we definitely did.
Like it's distorted.
But in like a crunchy.
Oh, it's
nice
so
way.
nice. Maybe it's like an RC20 or something.
Yeah, we might have ran it through these
The tape.
these
542s.
these Rupert Neve 542s that we have in a 500 series chassis. And then I've even like the JX8P, the Roland JX8P has this really nice like noise. I just really like the noise. I was like, there's something about that that's like you ever get those ads for like green noise if you're endlessly scrolling and it's like turn your brain off.
Yeah.
You know, from the
I don't
brain
scroll,
rot.
so I don't know.
Well, lucky you. Lucky you, because
Just kidding.
yeah, I was like, wait. But yeah, it's like it has a green noise effect of just like, oh, that feels really nice.
Yeah. And all that stuff. Is that in the recording too? Or is that in the bounce track?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that little tail, because we're in, what key are we in? I think we're in C sharp. Something like that. I don't know. But anyway, it ends on a B natural. Da da da. It's a B natural. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's a reason why we do that, and you'll hear it at some point. I can't necessarily disclose like right now what that reason is, but it may or may not be a transition into another track.
It might be a transition to another track.
You know what?
Who
It's
knows?
a transition into another track. You know, it's a cat's out of the box.
Cat's out of the bag.
I'm thinking of like Schrodinger's cat, where it's like a cat in a box.
In a fucking
It's like the
cage.
physics equation.
Yeah, I know.
So no drums, no bass, no vocals. This is just all the mid-range stuff that's happening to make it feel more full. There's a lot of different counter melodies going on, which I don't know if it necessarily you're able to hear all of them, and you shouldn't really hear all of them, but
Yeah.
it has a cumulative effect of just having like a level of emotionality. But yeah,
It's nice.
that's the song, you know. Oh, and one thing I wanna point out is I have this Jaguar. So that's me playing it. I played in my old apartment. I have this Jaguar. I love this guitar. It's like a beautiful guitar.
It's Noah's
But-
guitar, isn't it?
No, his is the Jazzmaster. This is the blue one.
Right.
And I don't really use it for recording a lot. Well, mostly because Ian and Noah are playing literally every single part. But I just decided to play this to kind of fill it out and give it a little bit of edge, which I don't think you can really hear it in the track, but maybe you feel it. So that's the song.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
good.
Yeah. Okay. Goodbye.
Are we Kai Cenat yet?